everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a palette bingo. It has been quite some time since I did my last palette bingo here on my channel, actually a long time. I think I did one at the very beginning of this year and I haven't done any for a while. It's such a fun way to challenge myself and I am going to be doing it today with the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place. So if you're not familiar with what a palette bingo is, I am going to randomize 5 eyeshadows from this gorgeous 16 pan palette right here. There is a mix of colors and neutrals in this palette, and so I could get quite an interesting color palette. I'm going to randomize 5 shades and I have to incorporate all 5 of those shades into the look, and I just think it's such a fun way to kind of pull myself out of my everyday routine. I am working on this palette in my Graveyard Project pan at the moment, and I haven't really played with it to the extent that I'd like to, even though we're 4 months into that freaking project pan. So I want to just play with it, jump in. I have done several palette bingos with this over the years, and I've always enjoyed playing with this palette. So I'm really, really excited to get on into it. I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks now, and I'm happy to finally be doing it because I've actually had several requests here on YouTube as well as over on Instagram from a handful of people asking me to bring back my palette bingos because it's such a fun experimental way to play with makeup. So I'm so excited. I hope that you're excited. Let's just delve on into pulling all the eyeshadows that I'm going to use for today's look. I can't wait. So I'm going to select all 5 shades using the Pretty Random app. I have put in variables 1 to 16, and let's just pull 5 randomized numbers right now. So 16, 8, 1, 6, and number 10. I'll be right back to share with you what all of those are. So my first shade selection was number 16. It's this beautiful, rich, neutral brown called Fulani. And number 8 is this one right here. It's a hot pink that kind of has a little bit of shimmer running through it, but I think it's just gonna be something I treat as a matte, and it's called Bori. My next selection was shade number 1, which is this beautiful blurple kind of metallic shade. It's a rich purple based blue, and I love it. This shade is called Chi. I cannot wait to put this on my eyelids. Next up is shade number 6, which is another matte shade actually, and this one is called Zobo. It's a beautiful kind of purple berry sort of shade, and I have in the past used this shade quite a bit, but it is one of the least impressive formulas in this palette, so we'll see how it goes. So shade number 10 is also a matte actually, so I only have one metallic in here, which I'm not disappointed per se, but I was anticipating to have more metallics. But this is another matte brown. This one is a little bit more on the true neutral side, and this one is called Burkina. So this is the color palette that I'm working with. Actually is very well balanced the way that they were pulled as well. The browns grounding it, and then the more pinkies in here, and then the metallic in the middle. I kind of like the way that this looks. I'm gonna think on this, and I'm gonna try to tidy up my brushes a little bit as well, and I'll be right back to share with you the look. We're gonna build this look together. So I stepped away for a short while, but I still have absolutely no real game plan. We're gonna see how this plays out. So I'm gonna start with the shade Burkina. I know I just wanna start with that because that is the most neutral of shades. And I think it's just a really good kind of crease shade. I have already primed and set my lid. I also did my full base, which generally with a palette like this, especially because it's so colorful, I probably wouldn't do that. But for palette bingos, I always like to kind of just have my face ready so I can see the look come together a little bit more quickly. But I'm gonna go into Burkina with this huge fluffy brush. This one is by Eco Tools. Just going to lay that down to kind of use it as a guide and as a starting point for everything else. So I'm gonna go in to Zobo right there, that more kind of berry shade. And as I said, it's usually not that impressive, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna put this on the outer half of my lid pretty much. And I'm using another fluffy brush, but this one is a little bit smaller, although it is still quite large for my eyes. This is a Zoeva 225. You know what? This is applying a lot better than I remembered it, but honestly, I also had one of my pan those eyeshadow shades on this brush, and I tried to clean it off as best as I could, but it's very comparable to this, so I'm wondering if that's helping. So I may end up wanting to go in and build that up a little bit more, but I think now I just want to go into Bori, which is the hot pink that has a little bit of shimmer in it, but I don't believe it's gonna translate on the lids. I've never noticed it on the lids at least. And I'm using, again, a fluffy brush, but this one is a little bit smaller, a little bit more tapered. This is a Colourpop E9. I bought this absolutely ages ago though, so I'm not sure that they'd have it anymore, given that they're so notorious for discontinuing products. I'm going to put this kind of in the crease, at the front of the crease, I should say. I'm gonna try to keep it like more concentrated there and kind of feather it into that fuchsia. Oh my gosh, on the eyes though, these are looking virtually the same. I was kind of hoping these shades would have a little bit more contrast, but that's okay. We're working with what we pulled. Maybe I'll just pull this a little bit more in towards the inner portion of my lid as well. I think I'm just gonna pull in a little bit more Zobo on the outer portion of my lid and kind of just try to intensify that color. I'm gonna really pile it on so that you can hopefully tell a little bit better that these are two different tones. I think I'm just gonna go in to use that shade number 16. I believe it's Fulani. I'm just going to put that on my lower lash line just to kind of frame things out. And I'm bringing this kind of a little bit far down. I'm using this amazing brush. This is like one of my favorite brushes ever. This is a La Butte Soy. I got this in a cause box. I did receive that in PR forever ago, like 2 years ago. And this has been like my go-to brush ever since then. I love this on the lower lash line and like to kind of hug the outer corner as well. So let's throw that shade Chi into there. I guess I'm just putting it all over the lid, baby. Let's go for it. So I'm gonna, should I put a little bit of the e.l.f. glitter primer? I think I might have to. This palette is getting a little bit older. The Masquerade Mini I've had now for, I believe, 3 years. I could be wrong. Could be wrong on that estimation, but I think it has been 3 years. So I just want to make sure I give it its best opportunity to perform very well. So I just put that on with my ring finger, and now I'm just gonna use my middle finger to put Chi absolutely everywhere. You know what? I think when I did my very first palette bingo with this palette, I used Chi in that. And I was super blonde back then too. Ooh, that shade is glorious. I'm gonna kind of blend it out afterwards. Oh, I forgot to put the glitter glue on, and you can see it's not as impactful. Whoops. Just gonna pop a little bit of glitter glue there. So I'm just gonna go in with Zobo on the same brush I first applied it with to just kind of like fine tune the edge on this outer portion of Chi, because the glitter glue I find, like, of course it's made to grip, but it really grips on those edges in a very choppy way. So I'm just gonna try to like not amp this up, but like fine tune this blend here. Much better. And then I'm gonna use the same littler brush for the pink shade and kind of blend out this inner portion as well. I grabbed this brush right here, and this is a teeny tiny little pointer brush. I have no idea what the brand name on this is. I honestly forget, which is so bad because I got this when I was in high school. I got this when I worked at a store that was like all green, all environmentally friendly products, like beauty, household kind of stuff. I worked there when I was in high school, and I bought this set because it was so beautiful, and I was just kind of getting into makeup at that time. And there's no branding on it, and you know, high school was quite a while ago, so I have no clue what the brand name of this was anymore. But these have held up really well. I still have a lot of brushes from that line. But I'm just going to use Chi on this little brush to kind of get right on that inner corner there. Not on the like actual inner corner, but the inner corner of my lid, I guess I should say. And I'm definitely gonna have fallout, as I already am getting. But this way I can just kind of get those inner and outer corners saturated with color that I can't do with my ring finger. And then I can just dust away the fallout under my eyes, because I did set pretty profusely under my eyes today in anticipation of some sort of crazy metallic color. And that should just dust away there. Just gonna flick it kind of towards the outside of my face and pick it up. Yeah, it's no problem. No problem at all. So should we try to do a little bit more blending? I think I should. This brush is the one that I had the shade Burkina, shade number 10, this one right here on. I haven't added any more product, but I'm just gonna use that to kind of diffuse this hot pink, especially because I am finding that looks a little harsh. I'm just blending that outer corner as well. Again, no additional product. I'm just using this to really diffuse and soften everything. I found this to be such a key for me in my eyeshadow looks, because I can go in extremely heavy-handed and then I need to do a little bit more, I need to do a little bit of work to kind of repair it after the fact. I can't seem to work in like nice, fine, soft layers. That's just not for me. I gotta see the full-on impact right away. I think this blend is as good as it's gonna get for me. I'm gonna go in with the Bite Beauty. This is the Upswing Mascara. I've had this mini for forever. I'm still using it. I'm just gonna curl my lashes, put this on, and then I'm gonna take a look at how the lower lash line is looking and kind of reevaluate from there. So I just popped on some mascara on the top lashes, and I think I wanna keep it just like this, like nothing on the lower lash line. Keep it super, super simple on the lower lash line. That's not always my go-to, but I just think it looks really nice. And I kind of like that contrast right now. The one thing that I am going to do, however, and it is slightly a little bit risky, I think, in this instance, is I'm gonna use this Cover FX Liquid Shadow. This is in my 30 by 30. I am going to just pop this slightly on the inner corner, but mostly on that inner portion of the lower lash line. I'm gonna use this tiny little Real Techniques brush here so I can get a very small amount of product. I am a little nervous, but I'm just gonna really like saturate the brush so that I can almost just use it like a liner right here. I think that offers a little something something on the lower lash line without it being like a full-on lower lash line kind of look. And it really does brighten up the eyes, I think, as well. What do you think? How do you feel about that? And here we have the completed look. I'm really happy with the way that this came together. I'm actually so happy about how this color story came together as well. This gorgeous purpley pink kind of pairing is just so cohesive and really fun. I love the way that the look came together on the eyes. I love that little addition of the Cover FX kind of liquid shadow to just bring the look together, bring a little bit more light to the look. And on my lips, I'm wearing this Milk Makeup lip and cheek in the shade Work. I've been wearing it the whole video, but I just kind of reamped it a little bit more, and I love the way that it pairs with this eye look. Could definitely go for something a little bit more like purple or maybe a little bit more berry, but for now, I'm super happy with the way that this came together. I hope that you enjoyed watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this look come together. What would you have done with this color selection? Something a little bit different, maybe put that purple on the lower lash line, kept the neutrals up top. What would you have done? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.